So hi everyone, welcome to my next YouTube video. Today I want to take a moment to talk about my training and nutrition strategies that I personally use, that I've found super helpful, and that currently help me stay lean, get stronger, and overall just fuel my performance. So when I think about training, what I want to get out of it, I want to be effective, I want it to be efficient, and help work on the qualities that I want to improve. We all have busy lives, so one of the biggest things is just doing something that fits in your own life, that fits under your time constraints, but at the same time is still very effective. So efficiency is a big thing here. So for me, one of the things I found super helpful is sticking with the most important principles to get the most bang for your buck for your training. So here's the 5 principles that I personally use to structure my own training to maximize my muscle building and strength gains, but also at the same time still be very efficient and fit that into my otherwise busy life. So the first one is you got to train hard. So whatever you do, if you want to build muscle, if you want to build strength, you got to train hard. In the gym, that means you got to train close to failure, push your body hard enough, and create a stress that it can adapt from and get stronger from over time. The second one is you got to be consistent. So building muscle, building strength, all that just takes time. So the biggest thing is that you do this for months and years on ends, and ideally never stop. So that's really the only secret there really is. But in order to do that, you just need to give it time, progress slowly, and over time, increase the weights, increase the loads, but always push yourself hard and just find something you can stick with for a long time. The third one is full range of motion. Training in a deep range that you can comfortably and safely get into is going to maximize your muscle gains, but also overall just build a more resilient body. Number 4, emphasize the stretch. I find this just feels really good. Honestly, you work on your flexibility at the same time. There's also more and more evidence now coming out in the scientific community when it comes to muscle building that the stretch position under load actually builds the most muscle. So I find this super helpful, feels super good in my own training, and most of the things I do, I really try to emphasize the stretch position. And then number 5 is variety. In order to be consistent, training's got to be super fun. So that means you vary it often, find exercise variations that feel good, that are fun for you, and don't be afraid to vary your exercises. If you follow the 4 principles I've outlined before, training can really take on almost any form that you want. You can make gains with so many different exercises, just if you're consistent and train hard, go through a full range of motion, and then on top of that, also emphasize the stretch. The exercise that you choose are almost endless. So within that framework, just choose something that's fun for you, that feels good, and don't be afraid to vary it and stick to a rigid program. So those are the training principles that I found to be super helpful. I'm not afraid to vary my exercises. I try to make it fun. One of the things, especially after my athletic career, that I found to be super helpful is just doing stuff that I enjoy. Really be that kind of my guiding principle, because then I'm going to push myself harder on it. I'm going to do it more often. I'm going to be consistent with it, have more motivation, just more energy doing it. So variety is a big thing. But yeah, those are the 5 training principles. And now I want to move into my nutrition principles, because they obviously are very much tied together with my training principles. Only if you optimize your training and your nutrition at the same time, you're really going to maximize your muscle building and strength building efforts. So obviously the biggest thing is that you do something that really fits into your own life. This should really be a lifestyle. Nutrition should be simple. And really I want to help you find ways, and that's what I'm trying to do with myself, find ways that I can incorporate into my own life, but also at the same time maximize what I'm doing, stay lean, and fuel my performance. So what does that mean? So for me, here's 5 principles that I follow to kind of guide my nutrition. The number 1 is prioritize protein. We all know protein is one of the most important things when it comes to building muscle, but also building strength. So 1 gram per pound of body weight is kind of the recommendation For most people, I honestly opt for a little bit more than that, but 1 gram per pound of body weight or 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight is really where you should be at and what you should be aiming for. And then that's more than enough to optimize your muscle building, optimize your strength, and then you're in a good way to maximize your training there. Number 2, don't eat too many calories. If you want to stay lean, one of the biggest things is you need to control your calories. So that doesn't mean you need to count your calories necessarily. It can help if you want to, and there's people that do that. I honestly don't. I've become much more calorie aware, and I generally know right around like kind of where I'm at, but I don't really count my calories. One of the biggest things I try to reduce is my fat intake, because that's the easiest way to get too many calories in. So what I do there is I really try to opt for real lean protein sources. So lean meats, lean dairy options, stuff like that. And if I do that, I usually almost seamlessly kind of keep my fat intake under wraps. I also don't really eat nuts or cheese too much anymore, because that's just a real easy way to get a lot of extra calories. There's some great fat-free cheese options that I like to do every now and again, but yeah, lean meats and lean protein options usually is the way to go. So then the next one, carbs around my training. So most of my carbs I usually eat around my training. That's going to help me fuel my performance, but overall just keep my energy levels kind of more stable throughout the day. I mean, nowadays I eat carbs kind of at every meal, kind of depends on the day. But if I'm going to eat more carbs, I'm mostly going to use that around my training to fuel my performance and yeah, just kind of optimize the uptake there as well. So the next one is eat mostly whole foods. So that doesn't mean you can't ever have processed foods, junk foods anymore, but most of the foods you eat should come from basically single ingredient, whole, unprocessed food options. So like meat, dairy, tofu, if you don't want to eat meat, like stuff like that, that's basically just single ingredients. It doesn't have a super high calorie density. So that's just going to help you fuel you with enough protein, but also keep your calories kind of lower. So try to opt for that. So meats, nuts, whole grains, fruits and vegetables, stuff like that, you know. So mostly real food, not processed food. Then the next thing is walk after every meal. So it doesn't necessarily have to be walking, but movement of some form after every meal I found super helpful. So I got this originally from Stan Efferding. He's a big proponent of it, and I started doing it. I'm super consistent with it. Basically never miss a day or meal where I don't move afterwards. I'm really adamant about that now, and it's really helped me get lean, and now really helps me stay lean. Apparently it helps you with your digestion, helps also with blood sugar control after your meals, and honestly just makes me feel good. Like I'm much less sluggish after meals, and it's a nice habit I've taken on. I think it's super simple. You can do it anywhere. So just walking after meal and increasing your step throughout the day in general, but especially moving after the meal in some fashion, I think is really helpful. And I think it's going to make your life overall much better. So those are the big things here. It's really simple. It doesn't have to be crazy. I mean, you need to follow certain principles, just like with training. You need to eat enough protein, not too many calories. But within that framework, basically you can choose whatever you want. You can eat higher fat, you can eat higher carbs. It doesn't really matter. The biggest thing should be protein, and then controlling your calories. Depending on what kind of your performance goals are, eating a bit more carbs might be beneficial. But other than that, it can really take on any kind of shape or form that you want, kind of what feels good to you, what tastes good to you. So within that framework, there's so many different options. The biggest thing that it fits with your life, that you can be consistent with it. This should not be a diet. This should ideally be a lifestyle. You can still eat tasty foods, but you need to find ways to control your calories and overall eat more protein. Basically every day, I find that's the hardest thing for most people. I think getting a good protein shake can be helpful, to just an easy option to get extra protein in, and then just opting for leaner protein sources. I really like dairy, I really like lean meats, but there's so many other options you can choose. So this can take on so many different forms. Choose something that you enjoy, that fits in your life and with your dietary strategy. And within that, you're basically free to choose whatever you want. Yeah, so this is it. These are my training and nutrition principles that I've found to be super helpful, that help me stay lean, help me stay strong, and overall just fuel my performance. I mean, what I eat and what I train kind of varies from time to time. I try to be very flexible there, but these are the main principles that I follow. And within that framework, I'm able to stay lean, stay strong, and I'll also have a lot of fun living, fun training, fun eating. So I think that's the biggest thing. You want to have fun in life. You want to choose something that's going to be able to fit with your life, that you can be consistent with, that's sustainable. So if you do that, I think you're going to go a long way and really help improve the quality of your life. If you want to build more muscle, if you want to get stronger, if you want to figure out ways how you can eat, how you can change your diet, change your nutrition strategies, incorporate some of these things in your own life, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or through the link I put here underneath the video. And I can certainly help you out. And that's it. So feel free to do that. It's really simple. It can be really fun. I want to show that. And yeah, let's get stronger together and have a good time doing it. Let's go.